All right, so we're on the line now with Noble
Are you recording?
Ackerson. Yes, we're recording now. So we're on the line with Noble Ackerson, who is out at the March on Washington right now with Google Glass, joining us in a Google Plus Hangout. So how are you? How's the emotions out there right now after the president has spoken?
Everything is pretty. Has just come to an end. It was such a great speech. The energy is actually still high. There's a lot of people still finding their ways to their loved ones, walking home or to where they came from. But yeah, it was such an exhilarating experience.
That's great. That's great. And so I guess, kind of, what do you think is the significance of being able to have this kind of technology and being able to have this video, have this Google Glass to really kind of commemorate this whole entire moment? How do you think that what do you think is the significance of that?
I mean, 50 years ago, people were only able to sort of talk about it, and the press was able to sort of proliferate whatever happened, the historical moment that happened in a traditional way. But now with Google Glass, every person that has one on is themselves a journalist, and I, for example, am able to sort of broadcast that experience to the world instantly. And it completely changes the dynamic of experiencing something as historic as today. Being able to capture this moment without the constraints of a viewfinder or a camera or a phone in front of me. My eye is the camera, and I'm able to sort of enjoy the moment without being distracted while I capture the moment to share with the world.
That's really awesome. So, what have been some of your highlights while you've been at the March on Washington, just throughout the entire weekend, from the March on Saturday to the other different events that have been going on throughout the weekend? What have been some of kind of your highlights?
Highlights, definitely at the top of the list was President Obama's speech that he just gave, where he brought together all walks of American life, from Native Americans to gay and lesbian, transsexuals, and transgender, to African Americans, to whites, basically every race, creed, or color embodied in one speech, which completely sells the message that Martin Luther King gave in his speech 50 years ago. I'm hoping with such a divided government and with such a divided people that this day and the march from last Saturday through today sort of reminds us that we're all the same people, and actually reminds us of the doctor's dream.
That's great. And so, kind of, what was the feeling like during his speech, when President Obama was speaking, or when Martin Luther King III was speaking, or when Reverend Bernice King was speaking? Like, what was the feeling like, I guess, kind of in the crowd that you felt? Was it mostly silence? Was there chanting? Was there, people mostly just really tuned into the speech, or what was the feeling like then?
It was a variation of chanting, cheering where needed. There was a lot of jubilation where relevant topical things were mentioned. And it was also very solemn at certain moments where, Reverend Bernice King would speak and mention one thing that definitely stood out was her highlighting peace. Mm-hmm. And in this day and age, that definitely talks to another one of Dr. Martin Luther King's preaching and his speech about peace and loving one another regardless of where you are in this world.
That's great. And so I guess to kind of finish up, if you could just kind of like walk around just to kind of show us like how this technology can really bring everybody who wasn't able to be there from around the country. If you're able to just kind of walk around and show us kind of what's going on there on the mall now, that would be great.
Sure thing. Give me a second.
All right.
All right. All right. So looking in front of me right now is and right in front of the Lincoln Memorial in the distance. I don't know how good the quality is, but because I'm tethering off of my phone here, but right in front of the Lincoln Memorial is the World War II memorial as well.
Yeah.
And behind me, where I've actually been showing is, of course, the National Monument.
Yeah.
So it's playing, as you can see.
Yeah.
Very lively environment.
Lively crowd, just as what it would have been 50 years ago. Just people outside playing after the speech and just kind of enjoying being in each other's company. It's really great.
I would hope it was the same.
Yeah.
Of course, I have no point of reference, but
exactly. Yeah.
But I would imagine that circumstances were a lot different then than today, where, as you can see, the tensions between races were a lot higher, and as you can see right now, I'm looking at people who are just playing with each other, and it's almost race agnostic, and it's beautiful.
It's great. Well, thank you so much, Noble, for your time, and I really appreciate you doing this and really being able to bring the March on Washington to everybody and really being able to bring that to video. So I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Excellent. Thank you for having me.
All right. Thank you.